We're going to explain how to execute MongoDB commands through shell scripts. This is incredibly useful for automating database tasks, backups, and more. We'll cover the basics, assuming you have MongoDB installed and running, and you have a basic understanding of shell scripting, Bash, for example. Connecting to MongoDB. The first step in any MongoDB shell script is establishing a connection to your database. We use the Mongo command. This often requires specifying the hostname and port. For example, Mongo localhost 27017 connects to a local MongoDB instance on the default port. If you have authentication enabled, you'll need to add credentials using the my username and wash password flags, e.g., Mongo, username my user, password my password localhost 27017. 2. Executing simple commands. Once connected, you can execute MongoDB commands directly. Let's say you want to show all databases. You'd use show dbs. In your shell script, this becomes bash mongo localhost 27017 eof show dbs eof. The char eof and eof markers create a here document, which allows you to send multiple commands to the Mongo shell at once. The script sends the show dbs command and then closes the connection automatically after the eof. 3. Executing more complex commands. More involved operations like inserting or updating data require more sophisticated scripts. For instance, to insert a document into a collection, you might use something like this. Bash mongo localhost 27017 eof use my database db.mycollection. Insert 1. Name, example, value 10. eof. This script first selects the database, use my database, and then inserts a document into the my collection collection. Remember to replace my database and my collection with your actual database and collection names. 4. Handling query results. Sometimes you need to process the results of a MongoDB query. This is where things get a little more advanced. You can use the Mongo export command to export data to a CSV or JSON file, which you can then process in your script. For example, bash mongo export, host localhost, port 27017, db my database, collection my collection, type CSV, fields name, value, output, that CSV. This exports the name and value fields from my collection to a CSV file. Your script can then read and process this CSV file using standard shell commands like awk or sed. 5. Error handling. Robust scripts incorporate error handling. Check the exit status of the Mongo command. A non-zero exit status usually indicates an error. You can use char in your shell script to check the exit status and take appropriate action, like sending an email alert or logging the error. 6. Using variables. To make your scripts more flexible, use shell variables to store database names, collection names, and other parameters. This allows you to easily change these values without modifying the core script logic. For example, you could have a variable like dbName my database and use it within your Mongo commands. 7. Scheduling with cron. Finally, you can schedule these scripts to run automatically using the cron utility on Linux, Mac OS, or Task Scheduler on Windows. This allows for automated backups, data cleanup, and other regular database maintenance tasks. Remember to ensure your script has the necessary permissions to access the MongoDB